Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Hello SportsTech. We are live now, as you can see. Let me just double check whether we are streaming on all platforms because this is important for me to see. Yeah, it seems like it. Hi, hello. This is Rowan, and we are back after, well, a bit of a break. Last week, you had neither of us, nor Ben nor me, because we were on holiday. I am actually in beautiful sunny Portugal. It is actually, I'm in beautiful sunny Lisbon, I should say. I have been in Portugal for a little bit, which is why the nice chill music. You can see my little summer shirt. Um, but we're back now, and after a little bit of a break where you had Ben for 1 week, you haven't seen me in a couple of weeks. You had neither of us for 1 week, and today you've got me back. So hey guys, and welcome to episode 22, I believe, of Hello SportsTech. We do the top 5 news stories from around the world. And there's been a lot happening, I should say. I mean, because I had to go through news from the last couple of weeks. So I had a lot of news to get through. And with that said, should we dive right in? I am going to talk about some cool new initiatives that launched as well. So stay tuned for that till the end of the episode. But I'm going to start with our first story, which is about the Olympics. Yeah, that has been a thing, right? I mean, it's finally happening, which is great to see. Japan is, of course, nobody's allowed to go there, which is a shame. But at least the Olympics are happening. So keeping that in mind, I wanted to bring you a really interesting story of what is happening alongside the Olympics. And there is this really interesting startup which is bringing you Olympic style challenges uh, for anybody to perform on social media, right? So this company, which is apparently from a network of Olympians. That is the story. This company was founded by 9 Olympians, and they are inviting you, anybody else, to submit videos via TikTok or Instagram. TikTok and Instagram are worldwide audiences and far greater numbers, and networks no surprises for them. No surprises to see that they are reaching out to these channels. But what is the idea exactly of the startup, right? And I'll give you a quick preview of what this company is exactly. They set up challenges for across these many sports. So whether you're a high jumper, long jumper, fastest swimmer, etc., right? And you are supposed to complete one of these challenges and post them on Instagram. And based on your performances there, you get some recognition. So, for example, this is a challenge from long jump. This guy, Oliver, performed like an 8-meter jump, apparently, which is a pretty big deal, I think. Yeah, you can see his jump right now. And this is it. This is the idea that everybody can submit their, yeah, that's quite a jump, no? Everybody can submit their jumps or their activities, whatever they do, onto the onto this World One League. And this is a startup which Mark Cuban has invested in as well. They are bestowing titles like World's Fastest Man, World's Fastest Woman, etc. for Gen Z followers for you to perform on social media challenges. So I think a really nice little spin for startups to be able to, or for as a startup for young athletes who are not yet at the Olympics, to see what they can do and how they can compare against everybody else. That is my first story for the week. So a nice little start in terms of new information and new news that is out there. Next up, we have something from the NBA. Now, in case you haven't been following the finals, what an epic finals, yeah? The Bucks in 6, Giannis with an incredible performance in Game 6, 50 points. the highest um, points scored in a finals game winner, I believe. Only the third player in history to achieve an MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and a Finals MVP. So hats off to him and the Bucks. The NBA has just come to close for this season, but what they've also managed to do is announce a partnership with Tencent. So the NBA is getting closer to audio content. Now they've announced this partnership with QQ Music, right? What is QQ Music? QQ Music is actually a partnership between Tencent and Spotify. So lots of big names dropping around. And what are they planning to do? They've struck a new content. Okay, so this is the partnership with Tencent Music, and they want to collaborate to. Let me see where I can find that bit of news. Basically, they're going to launch an official music subscription offering and proper podcasts, NBA official podcasts, right? And with these official podcasts, what they're also inviting is amateur podcasters to create NBA content, NBA related content. So looking to crowdsource more audio content, especially in today's day and age, audio content has really exploded in a big way. What they want to do is to reach out to that audience, whether it's on Twitter, Clubhouse, or their own platform, which is what this looks like it's going to be. So interesting initiative from the NBA, and especially with hip hop and cool culture and shoe culture, a big part of NBA. This will be an interesting move to see how much more they can integrate music. Bringing basketball season to a close, this is an interesting bit of news, an interesting move from the NBA, and I want to see where this will go and how many more. Maybe you're going to have more concerts, because we did see this a couple of weeks ago that NBA was doing virtual concerts. I think there was AT&T, if I'm not mistaken, or might have been Verizon. I'm sorry. Where they were doing more, they're getting more and more involved with music, and this is another step in that direction. All right, that is story number 4. What about story number 3? The 3 is actually a pretty big one. What we've got is Fitbit, who have filed for a patent. I'm going to let that page load for a second. Yeah, there we go. Now, Fitbit has filed for a patent for a smart ring. Yeah. Now, this is interesting because Fitbit, of course, owned by Google, has been. I'm a customer as well. Has long been at the forefront of wearable devices, along with Apple Watch. Actually, tell me, how many of you guys, whoever's watching, feel free to drop a chat. You don't have Ben here today. It's just me. You can keep this as interactive as you want it to be. So drop me a line. Tell me if you have a Fitbit, if you have a smart, if you have an Apple Watch, or maybe you have a ring already, whether it's Oura or one of the other companies. Also, tell me how much do you like this music. Maybe if you like the shirt. I don't know. I like it. It's not much shirt. Coming back to Fitbit, that's more important. No, but Fitbit has launched a patent for a smart ring where they're going to do blood oxygen measurement. In fact, I have a copy of the patent itself right here. Let me fire that up for you. Yeah, I mean, for any patent, you can see United States Patents and Trademark Office. This is the applicant is Fitbit, blah, blah, blah. They want to do exactly this, measurement of blood oxygen levels. This is what the patent is for. And along with blood oxygen levels, they're looking to do blood pressure tracking, basically make this ring increasingly intelligent. That is their goal. I mean, we've already seen that the ring is becoming a more popular device as an alternative to the wristband. There has been a lot of action on the wristband side. We've heard rumors of Facebook getting into the wristband wars. They are likely to launch something because they were in talks with Fitbit to acquire them before Google actually swooped in. So now, apart from the wristband, it's the ring, which is now seems to be a space which is hotting up. There's been some talk from Apple. There's been talk from Peloton. who we'll also hear from in a second in further news from today. But as the ring space hots up, rings are going to get payment integrated, which is something that we've also seen a lot. And they're going to be the central point for data gathering. No screen, of course, everything is still connected to your mobile device, but we've already seen a graduation. But people are not interested in the screen over here. Whoop is a classic example. Now, we've been saying this for a while. Somebody's going to buy Ura. One of these big boys is going to buy Ura. Who that is, we don't know. But the fact that Fitbit is taking a step in this direction, does it make them more likely or less likely? Is it for Google to make this acquisition? You could argue both ways. Maybe there's some part of it that Fitbit wants to own before it makes such a big step into the ring space, or they're just saying, hey, like Amazon did with Halo, we're just going to build something on our own. Either ways, so the ring itself, it has so more accurate. It's a medical grade smart ring. We know that the patent was filed. Patent release plans for SpO2 tracking and NFC, so the payment and the blood oxygen level. And how they're doing this is non-invasive. Basically, it's a light diode which will shine through your finger. So really interesting tech over there. This is the image that we saw in the patent already. Ura, which is the biggest specialist in the space already. There have been other attempts. Actually, I didn't know about this Amazon Echo Loop. That was a product that came and went, and I didn't even know. Apparently, it was launched in August of last year, and it was connected to the Alexa. So it was using your ring to activate Alexa. Didn't really work that well, apparently. But hey, it's another device that has come and gone. So basically, the ring needs to be more functional, and Fitbit doing this might be an interesting move to see how Google integrates into the ring market. Okay, that is my third top story for the day. What is my second bit of news? Well, you'll see it right now, and I mentioned it a second ago. It is Peloton. Yeah, we love talking about Peloton on the show, and that is because Peloton keeps doing so much interesting stuff. And now they're getting into gaming. These guys, I mean, I have to say, it does make me wonder, are they spreading themselves too thin? Are they doing too much too soon? We saw Peloton make a flurry of acquisitions about 4 months ago, where they acquired a smartwatch company. They acquired an AI company to help build deeper analytics. They acquired a different type of sensor. We saw them in a major partnership in the music space. We've seen them invest in different types of hardware. They are doing so much. And now, apparently, they're going to get into the gaming space. Now, this gaming space is really hot from every one of the big companies. We know Netflix recently launched their own gaming platform, which will integrate really well with their content. That is their plan. We know that Facebook has been doing this for a while, and they want to get deeper in that space. And now Peloton is getting bigger into gaming. I think the idea with them is pretty simple. We've actually done a video, in case you haven't seen this already, on X gaming, which is where exercise connects or integrates more deeply with gaming. And this is a similar concept. So you're pedaling on the bike to basically play a game. Now, what is the game? I tried to pull up a video. I couldn't really find a good one. But this is the game. Basically, there's a tire, and you have to steer it on this path that it's on by being at a particular speed. That is the goal. And the author of this article, it's still in super early beta. The game is only going to be launched in 2022. So this is very, very early stage, and very few subscribers have access to it yet. But the author of this article, Ashley Carmen, actually was one of those beta users, said that basically it wasn't interesting. I have to quote Ashley here. The article references that Peloton is like Netflix, also building in-app video games. Both companies are going head to head. Actually, somewhere, yeah, reminds me of Ringo and Mario Kart. It's more or less same old lane breaker, except that you're pedaling to keep the tire moving and meet specific goals. Um, it's only in members only, and will open later this year. Actually, also goes on to say that the game was a bit boring. They found it to be, which okay, because it was not particularly unique. I think it was just to test a hypothesis, but there are enough users for a game like this. But it seems like you can expect more and more content from Peloton. Anybody in chat, let me know if you are interested. Would you play more games? Are you happy with the Peloton functionality as it is? Are you not interested in the video gaming part, or is this just another step or another way to attract that millennial audience or that Gen Z audience, even that everybody seems to be going after? That key demographic that everybody's interested in. Is it just another hack or another tactic to get there? Let's see. Let's see how this one turns out. All right, that is my story number 2, and I am now going to get into my top story for the week. This, I think, is an interesting one. This is about Apple and Apple getting into NFL. Yeah, it seems like Apple is in talks with the NFL to buy streaming rights for games next season. I'm going to pull up the page as soon as it loads in a second. This is a really interesting article from the information, which was the source. Um, pull this up. And there's another follow-up article from the LEC. Yeah, there you go. Apple in early talks with the NFL to show Sunday games. They're interested in becoming more of a streamer. It'll get published on Apple TV. It will be called a Sunday Ticket. This will be just a complete separate licensing. We've already seen Amazon get into the space in a big way. This is a major initiative for all of the bigger, let's say, streaming websites to get closer to sports. We know that Netflix has stayed away from this area for a reason. Netflix has been on the side of original content. But Apple, in the meantime, getting into the streaming world themselves, and the NFL seems to be the price pig. Skin is what it's called, isn't it? The price pig when it comes to buying media rights. You'll likely see them cross over at some point into Europe as well. You can pull up the NBC article, which details some more information about this. But yeah, there are more layers to this story. I mean, it just seems that there's more and more context to the bigger fangs, shall we say, the Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google, and Apple investing in sports streaming. We know that Amazon came in as the savior for the Canal Plus story. In case you haven't that, of what happened with Ligue 1 and their streaming rights. Huge controversy there. What Canal Plus paid Ligue 1. Amazon played I think it was literally 25% of that of Ligue 1's value. What Ligue 1 paid for 25% of the broadcasting rights is what Amazon paid for 75%. So Canal Plus revolted, but the court came out in favor of Ligue 1, and all the prices stayed the same. There was huge controversy there. Recently, DraftKings announced that they are going to be streaming more content. Yeah, this is the Apple NFL story. Disney's ESPN, which of course are already in the mix. Amazon have already had some rights, but it seems like everybody is getting onto this streaming bandwagon. I also have a couple of other stories that I want to tell you quickly. DraftKings, which I mentioned, they are going to be streaming the MLB, and they're going to have a betting specific broadcast to the MLB. So a lot of guys are getting into the live streaming action. It's interesting scenario for a lot of these service providers. And what I also wanted to talk about, actually, I've just lowered the volume a bit. I don't know if you could hear me properly before. What I also wanted to talk about was the fact that Netflix has got into a partnership to do a series on the Lakers. So there is so much interesting content flying around. The Netflix partnership is apparently with Mindy Kaling, um, and they're going to do an original series, like a behind the scenes kind of thing, on the LA Lakers with Jeannie Buss, who is the I guess the chairman. I'm not, no longer actually. I'm not sure. I don't know what her exact title is, but basically the owner who runs the Lakers, and a show based on her. And there's some character and what happens behind the scenes of the Lakers. So that's Netflix's angle. We've seen DraftKings do this. We're seeing Apple get in on the NFL streaming rights as well. So all of the big names are getting in on some serious action. It seems like the streaming space is hotting up. That's it. That is all the top news I have for you this week. What I also have is one other interesting launch that we just did. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, if you haven't seen it already, I don't know where you are, we announced our Hello SportsTech shop. This is our shop where you can see all the coolest, most interesting products. Once it eventually loads in a second. All the coolest, most interesting products in the world of sports tech, all in one place. And that is the goal that we ask Hello Sports Tech team, which even though we're on holiday, we're always up to something that we brought you. So we've got over 400 plus products here, and that you can filter for based on a number of parameters. You can select a sport for, I don't know, let's say American football that we were talking about earlier, and see a bunch of really interesting products for American football. You can also look for products based on what kind of tech that they're operating with, fan engagement, sleep and recovery, based on a bunch of different tags. So our team has done a lot of scanning to bring you the coolest products out there. And that's what we hope that you will enjoy. You can come to our website, click on a product, click on a link, and it'll directly take you to the respective page to actually purchase the product. That is our latest offering from our Hello Sports Tech team, HST Shop. Make sure to check it out. That is the link right there in the description box down below me, as you can see. All right, guys, seems like that is all the news that I have for today. It's been a short episode. It's just me, but I think I tried my best to bring you all the news and give you some context on it. Tune in next week where you will have both of us back. You will have Ben and me, and I will be out of beautiful Lisbon, which has been an absolute pleasure. Man, I really, really like Portugal, and I feel like I'm going to come back here pretty soon again. But next week, I'll be back in Berlin. Ben and I will do this, our favorite weekly show together, and that's where we'll see you. Ciao.